And now, here is your pandemic news report. Welcome back, everybody, to the pandemic news report. And there is an investigation into McDonald's onions and the current E. coli outbreak in regards to these onions. All right. We appreciate y'all for coming in. Be sure to check us out at the pandemicnewsreport.com. That's pandemicnewsreport.com. Yes, indeed. So McDonald's says that the onions from California-based produce company linked to this deadly E. coli. So you be sure to tell family and friends to kind of stay off and stay away from McDonald's for a while. There's always been things that have been said about eating McDonald's foods and the quality of the food and how much there might not be quality of the food, if you will. So yeah, man, let's get into this report and find out what's going on so you guys can be fully informed. All right. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So a California-based produce company was the source of fresh onions linked to a deadly E. coli food poisoning outbreak at McDonald's. Officials with the restaurant chain said Thursday. Meanwhile, other fast food restaurants, including Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King, pulled onions from some menus. All right. McDonald's officials said that Taylor Farms of Salinas, California, sent onions to one distribution facility, which led the fast food chain to remove quarter pounder hamburgers from restaurants in several states. McDonald's didn't say which facility it was. All right. So, yeah, keep that in mind. An outbreak tied to the burgers has sickened at least 49 people in 10 states, including a person who died. Federal health officials have said. Investigators said they were focused on silvered onions as a potential source of the infections. U.S. Foods, a major wholesaler to restaurants across the country, said Thursday that Taylor Farms had issued a recall this week for peeled, whole, and diced yellow onions for potential E. coli contamination. The recalled onions came from a Taylor Farms facility in Colorado, a U.S. food spokesperson said. But the wholesaler also noted that it wasn't a McDonald's supplier and that its recall didn't include any products sold at the fast food chain's restaurant. Taylor Farms did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Officials with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration did not confirm that the agency is investigating Taylor Farms. I'm going to say that again. Officials with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration did not confirm that the agency is investigating Taylor Farms. A spokesperson said Thursday that the agency is, quote, looking at all sources of the outbreak. In the meantime, other national restaurant chains temporarily stopped using fresh onions. As we continue to monitor the recent reported E. coli outbreak, and out of an abundance of caution, that's a word that's normally used a lot of times, out of an abundance of caution, we have proactively removed fresh onions from select Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC restaurants. Yum Brands said in a statement. That's Yum Brands. All right. Louisville, Kentucky based Yum Brands wouldn't say where onions were removed or whether the company uses the same supplier as McDonald's. And I don't understand, before we go on, I don't understand why there's no transparency with these companies. They want to keep things secret instead of saying, well, we removed from here or this, we use this supplier, it's not McDonald's supplier, or yeah, it is McDonald's supplier and we're going to get to the bottom of it. It's better off when you just come correct and be transparent, man, instead of doing all the stuff, hiding and ducking and dodging. But let's continue. Louisville, Kentucky, again, based Yum Brands, wouldn't say where onions were removed or whether the company uses the same supplier as McDonald's. Yum Brands said it will continue to follow guidance from regulators and its suppliers. I wonder if Yum Brands is an Asian company or Asian brand. It's spelled YUM. You know, that name kind of sometimes is associated with Asian, but I could be wrong. But just it's just a question. Is Yum Brands an Asian company? All right. That's just the question. And again, Yum Brands said it will continue to follow guidance from regulators and its suppliers. Restaurant Brands International, which owns Burger King, this is another brand called Restaurant Brands International, which owns Burger King, said Thursday that 5% of its restaurants use onions distributed by Taylor Farms. See, they being transparent as compared to Yum Brands. Distributed by Taylor Farms Colorado facility. Burger King restaurants get deliveries of whole fresh onions and its employees wash, peel, and slice them. Okay, it's something they might need to be a little bit more diligent on, making sure their employees are actually doing that. All right, so even though it wasn't contacted by health officials and it had no indications of illness, Restaurant Brands said it asked the restaurants that received onions from the Colorado facility to dispose of them 2 days ago. The company said it's restocking with onions from other suppliers. See, that's what I'm saying. It's all about being transparent, letting and telling folks what they decided to do. They made a command decision on, okay, we get them from these suppliers. Let's tell all our stores, you dump all these right now. We're gonna hook you up with the other suppliers, and these other suppliers are gonna bring the onions in. As opposed to this Yum brand. All right, under question. It's making the Yum brand look suspicious, while the Restaurant Brand International is keeping it transparent. All right. So again, even though it wasn't contacted by health officials and it had no indications of illness, Restaurant Brand said it asked the restaurants that received onions from the Colorado facility to dispose of them 2 days ago. The company said it's restocking with onions from other suppliers. Chipotle said Thursday it doesn't source onions from Taylor Farms or use any other ingredients from the Colorado facility. Onions have been implicated in previous outbreaks. All right, y'all keep that in mind, especially even when you go into supermarkets like Walmart or other supermarket stores, Food Lion, and the like. You want to keep these things in mind. All right. So in 2015, Taylor Farms recalled a celery and onion mix used in Costco chicken salads after 19 people were sickened with E. coli. All right. So Taylor Farms has like a little history of this Colorado company, Taylor Farms Colorado facility, apparently. And because in 2015 you had these 19 people that were sick. And last year, 80 people were sickened and one died in an outbreak of salmonella poisoning tied to bagged diced onions from Gill's Onions of Oxnard, California. So you guys keep these companies in mind. You got Gill's Onions of Oxford or Oxnard, California, and then you have the Taylor Farms out of Colorado. And apparently it's something dealing with the onions. I don't know what's going on at these particular facilities or what went on. So I don't know if it's the onions themselves or when the onions get to these facilities, something is going on. All right. So it might not be when the onion is grown and you get it, it's probably no problem there. But then the transportation to a facility and then what's going on at the facility maybe, And then when it gets transferred from the facility to these restaurants or stores, I don't know if the transporting them somewhere is going on, or when it gets to these facilities, something is going on with the onions or any other foods that they're dealing with. So yeah, the investigation needs to be really focused on, what's going on. Is it happening between when you pick it up, when you get it from the farm, and then it's going to the facilities, or is it happening at the facility, or is it happening once the facility's done with the onions and it's being transported? Is it happening during transport, or at the facilities, or at where it's being grown at? All right, something to think about. At least 10 people have been hospitalized in the McDonald's outbreak, including a child who suffered a severe kidney disease complication as a result of the infection. Illnesses were confirmed between September 27 and October 11, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Victims were infected with E. coli 0157H7, a type of bacteria that produces a dangerous toxin. All right, so you guys write these things down and do your research on it. All right, again, that's E. coli 0157H7, which is a type of bacteria that produces a dangerous toxin. All right, it causes about 74,000 infections in the U.S. annually, leading to more than 2,000 hospitalizations and 61 deaths each year, according to CDC. A Greeley, Colorado man is suing McDonald's after contracting an E. coli infection. In a lawsuit filed this week, Eric Stelly said he ate food from local McDonald's on October 4 and fell ill 2 days later. After he sought emergency care, health officials confirmed his infection was part of the outbreak. Symptoms of E. coli poisoning can occur quickly, within a day or two of eating contaminated food. They typically include, y'all write this down, they typically include fever, vomiting, diarrhea or bloody diarrhea, and signs of dehydration, little or no peeing, increased thirst, and dizziness. All right. The infection is especially dangerous for children younger than 5 years old, people who are elderly and pregnant, or who have weakened immune systems. All right. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. And so there you have it. McDonald's is under investigation, something to do with the onions. Like I said before, there's always been things spoken upon regarding McDonald's foods, and particularly in not eating at McDonald's because they don't seem to have the most healthiest foods, but yet plenty of people go there continuously. So you might want to leave it alone until you find out if this has been resolved, or if it's not been resolved. All right. So we appreciate y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to share this out to your friends, family, those you are concerned about regarding this E. coli outbreak. And we appreciate y'all. This is the Pandemic News Report, and we out of here. Peace. And now, here is your Pandemic News Report.